Hey guys, it's Jason here. Welcome back to my channel, Cloud Garden UK. Please, if you haven't already, press that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you know when I next upload a video. Everybody's microclimates in their garden is completely different, but I wanted to take the time to document what I have learned from last year and what I'm going to do differently this year, just to help you not make some of the same mistakes that I did if you are new to balcony gardening. As you can see, the front of the balcony is glass, and over winter it kind of acts as a shield. Whenever the temperatures drop, the glass becomes completely frosted over. Because of this, everything on the balcony stays protected. In fact, the only plants that I lost were in metal containers. In a previous video, I showed you how my tomatoes managed to keep on going all the way through until February. The only reason why they didn't make it is because they suffered from frost damage from growing along the glass. So over winter, it's essentially a really big cold frame. This means I get to extend my growing season in spring and also in the autumn. The cloud garden is southeast facing. It gets no sunlight in the morning, but it gets full sunshine all afternoon and evening. As you can see, nothing impedes the sunlight, so it literally is full sun for 8 to 9 hours. It's really important to think about the structure on your balcony as well. So one of the things that I found over the summer is when the sun starts to shine, it shines down onto the cladding, this material here, and this heats up and then radiates and sends that heat straight back out. So anything that I've got growing up along this wall will either grow away from it or will become singed and will burn. This year, what I'm going to try to do differently is put some structures up along here, just to create a little barrier to stop the plants from getting damaged from the heat that's radiated from these walls. So, Thursday 11th of February, 2 degrees currently in Manchester. And then if we look at the thermometer, up here we're looking at almost 11 degrees. Time is round about 1 o'clock and the sun has just started to make its appearance. As we speak, the sun's come out, and out here it's already beginning to roast. And so this is one of the major issues that I've had. Cloud gardening is essentially I'm gardening in a giant greenhouse, and so what that means is a lot of my plants out here unfortunately don't make it because it gets so hot. A difference of 10 degrees might not seem like much, but in the middle of a heat wave downstairs on the ground floor it could be 32 degrees, but actually up here we're looking at around about 45. Normally around about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon it gets so hot out here that even I can't stay out here. That has a massive effect on all of the plants that I grow out here, but also on different things as well. So with container gardening, you are having to water your plants more often anyway, but due to this heat I have to deep water at least once a day, but during the heat wave I'm looking at twice a day, so in the morning and in the evening. One of the drawbacks to balcony gardening is normally out here you don't get a tap, so you can't have any running water out here, which means that there's no irrigation system that I can rely on. So that means that I have to make sure in my daily routines that I'm out here watering twice a day if necessary. Struggling to grow really basic things like lettuce. I've never managed to grow lettuce from seed to harvest, and at the beginning I just couldn't understand why. But looking back, it's essentially because I'm trying to grow lettuce, which is normally a cool weather crop, sky garden, which is coming in at 40 degrees temperature. As you can see as well, there's absolutely no shade here either, so once that sun starts to hit, that's it. One of the things I really struggle with as well is seed starting. So I could sow my seeds, get them out, but if it's in the middle of a heat wave or any form of sun, it doesn't have to be a heat wave, it just needs to be uninterrupted sun, the temperature up here goes up. And so what I find is a lot of my plants don't make it through the hardening off process, and I tend to lose quite a lot. So what I've started doing this year is my seed sowing from December and January, and it's obviously a lot earlier than what other people would do, but for me, my main goal is to try and get the plants as established as possible, so that by the time it gets to March, they will be able to survive out here. In the worst case scenario, what I will do is get some shade cloths and maybe have some kind of bamboo to go along the glass, but I'm pretty stubborn and I don't really want to do that. I would prefer the garden to be as natural as possible without having to do that. And I know this is going to sound really silly, but the idea of putting something along the glass, it kind of makes me feel like I'm caging it in, and it doesn't feel natural, so I don't particularly want to do that. Last year what I did was all the shorter plants were at the front of the balcony along the glass, and then the taller varieties were to the rear up against the walls, which at the time seemed like smart logic, but what I probably should have done is had a bit of a mixture and mixed it up a little bit to create the shaded environment. The plan this year is to sow seeds earlier, get plants out here earlier, create some more shaded areas, and also choosing the right kind of plants to be out here on the cloud garden. So what I've looked into is some more drought tolerant plants. So I've got some Ganzias that I'm excited about this year. I've got different varieties of sunflowers, and I've also got a few plants with darker foliage, which should help them with the sun as well. You may think that the sun is my biggest enemy out here, and it's one of them, but actually it's one of those ones that's within my circle of influence. I can actually kind of control what's going on in the garden with the effects of the sun. But there's one elemental force out there which is an absolute nightmare. It causes the most destruction on this cloud garden. So if you want to find out what that is, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when I upload the next video. Thank you very much. See you again soon. Bye.